Jeff Zwarenk here, and welcome again to Give and Take, the segment of our show where we look at how science and the Bible intersect so that we can use those scientific discoveries to share the gospel. Today I'm joined by my friend, colleague, Dr. Hugh Ross, and we're going to investigate the question, does insisting on 24-hour days undermine the Christian faith? Hugh, it's good to have you here again today.
Well, thank you.
So just to kind of give a little bit of background, I know you were recently out at the NCCA, the National Conference on Christian Apologetics, and you were in a panel with Dr. Norm Geisler where he was talking about how, in some sense, insisting on 24-hour days could actually undermine the faith. So let's give us some of the stage. What are the issues that come into play when we're looking at the days and how they relate to scientific issues?
Well, Dr. Geisler is talking about the creation days in Genesis 1. And I remember making the point, hey, if you just read it in the English, clearly this word day must have at least three distinct definitions, literal definitions, because three are used in the text.
And what are those three?
Well, you mentioned on creation day 1, the text is contrasting days and nights.
Okay.
That's day for the daylight hours. On creation day 4, it's contrasting seasons, days, and years. That's day as 24 hours. But Genesis 2:4 uses the word day to refer to the entirety of creation history. That's day as a long period of time.
Now, I mean, I know when I look in there, it's like these, when you look at 2:4, it's generally something like these are the generations, this is the history of. So how can we say that's day, if you will?
Well, the Hebrew word yom that's used for day in all the creation days, and creation day 1 and creation day 4, that word also shows up in Genesis 2:4. I first read the Bible with the King James Version. It actually uses the word day right there in the text, and that is exactly what the Hebrew does.
Okay, so when we're looking at the Genesis creation text, there's obviously room for multiple definitions of day there. You know, that's what you said, that's what Geisler says. I would agree with that. Is that kind of a new idea, or is this something that we're kind of scientifically, we know the earth is older, and so we're trying to inject days in there?
No, Bible scholars for centuries have recognized that the Hebrew word yom, translated day, has 4 distinct literal definitions. So it gives you 4 different possibilities and how you interpret these 6 days of creation. And I think that was Geisler's appeal. This shouldn't be an issue that divides people because the text clearly gives you these different interpretive options, all of which are a literal reading of the text.
So I think that's just an important point to realize, is that the Christian scholarship allows for longer periods of days, shorter periods of days. There's a range of what could happen there. Because when you go look at the science, you are going to encounter some things that are quite a challenge to a 24-hour day interpretation. What are some of those things? And kind of, if you know, what was Geisler actually specifically referencing?
Well, Geisler made reference to the universe, that when you look at the universe, you can't get around the fact that it really is billions of years old. And what he was referring to is the fact that you've got light coming to us from galaxies and stars, and these galaxies and stars are very far away. And it would take the light literally millions and billions of years to reach us.
And so I would kind of point out, as my understanding of what people who hold to a 24-hour view say is they really don't dispute the distances. So you really do have these incredible light travel times.
They don't dispute the distances, but they do dispute that the physics is constant. They'll say maybe the velocity of light changes, or some other constant changes. But that's what's interesting. The Bible explicitly states that there's been no change in the laws of physics, that the laws that govern the heavens and the earth are fixed, they're held constant. And as astronomers, we can measure the laws of physics in galaxies and stars, and we see that the laws of physics are the same when the light left those stars and galaxies as they are here on earth, confirming that the Bible got it right. The laws of physics don't change. And if the laws of physics don't change and these objects are far away, then the universe must be billions of years old. And that's what Geisler was referring to.
That's good. And so you know, when we look at the universe, the distances, the light travel times, the constant laws of physics, that really does, I agree with you. I think that provides pretty compelling evidence. If you were to stick closer to the Earth, what are the what's one of, I guess, the key piece of evidence or the strongest piece of evidence that really does point to an Earth that's far older than maybe 10,000 years?
Well, just look at our civilization. There's a lot of freeways around here. There's a lot of skyscrapers. That's there because the Earth is super endowed with biodeposits. Life has been here in such great abundance for such a long period of time that we actually have more than 76 quadrillion tons of limestone, marble, heavy metals, coal, oil, natural gas, topsoil that we can use to sustain our civilization. I mean, yeah, we humans haven't been here very long, but it's because life has been here a long time. We can actually enjoy the civilization and technology that enables us to take the good news of salvation through Jesus Christ to all the people, groups of the world, not in billions of years, but in just centuries.
You know, there are some who would insist that the 24-hour days is the only way to read the Bible. But if you do that, you do end up with some tensions about how do you reconcile God's creation with His Scripture. But Old Earth creationism provides a very robust and compelling way to integrate all of God's revelation into a picture that points to Him and that we can use to go out and share that great news with those around so that they can know the God who created the universe also.